Just when we all thought the drama with It Ends With Us was finally coming to an end, even more information has come out that makes Blake Lively look even worse than before. It's a mess, so let's get into it. For the last few weeks, all anyone has heard about is Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni and why it seems like they actually hate each other. I have a whole video going over all the lore from a few weeks ago, but pretty much fans of It Ends With Us were disappointed in how the promo of the movie was being handled by Blake. She was treating the movie as if it was like this fun, cutesy rom-com, and you should just put your florals on and go see it with your girlfriends.
It Ends With Us is in theaters now, so grab your friends, wear your florals, and head out to see it. Grab your friends, wear your florals.
When it was actually about DV, and definitely isn't this cute rom-com that Blake was trying to portray it as. But luckily there was one person in the cast that actually had the sense to handle the subject with care, and that was Justin Baldoni. He was doing all the interviews, having the important conversations, and actually seemed like he cared about the true message behind the film.
As a man, I'm always going to come with my own biases, and it's one of the reasons I was afraid to direct this movie, let alone act in it. And I wanted to make sure this film always had a female gaze, and I was never putting myself into it.
Unfortunately, his message was being overshadowed by the fact that everyone was talking about how obvious it was that Justin and Blake hated each other. They weren't doing press together. Blake and Colleen unfollowed him on Instagram. He stopped being seen with Colleen.
You know, like I had a list of scenes and quotes that I were hoping would be in there, and they're all in there. I think that they nailed it, and I can't stress enough that if you love the book, I believe you're gonna love the film.
Well, it seems like we may be starting to get some answers as to what exactly was causing tension on set. Last month, Blake revealed in an interview with E! News that her husband Ryan Reynolds was actually responsible for writing the key rooftop scene and said that no one actually knew that.
Ryan's here tonight. What is it like for the both of you to be promoting major motion pictures at the same time?
Oh my gosh, it's just so thrilling in our house right now. We help each other, we work together so much. The iconic rooftop scene in this movie, my husband actually wrote it. Nobody knows that, but you now. But he wrote it. He works on everything I do. I work on everything he does. So his wins, his celebrations are mine, and mine are his. I mean, he's all over this film.
And right away, people were like, oh, that's not the brag that Blake thinks it is, and revealing that is probably going to be causing some issues. Christy Hall was actually the person who adapted the book and took Colleen Hoover's story and made it consumable in film. She has the screenwriter's credit, and if Blake is saying that Ryan actually wrote this iconic scene, then that could cause some major issues. When it came out that Ryan apparently had a hand in how this scene played out, Christy Hall was asked about it, and she also had no idea. BuzzFeed wrote, "The problem is, there is a screenwriter credited with the movie, Christy Hall. At the same event, she told The Hollywood Reporter, as a writer, probably the most difficult scene for me to crack was the rooftop scene. I have to say, Colleen wrote it perfectly. I wish I could have just lifted it from the pages and put it in the film, but it's a little too long for film language." After Blake's comments made news, people asked Christy for more information on making the scene. "I am very proud of my work, and I do feel like the beats that needed to be honored in that scene are preserved and they're there," she said. Again, Colleen did it best. She did it first, and it's from her. I do think that scene is a really beautiful reflection of what she penned from the beginning. Christy then said that she wasn't aware of any writing input from Ryan. She explained, "There were a couple of little things that I thought had been improvised, like when he says, 'pretty please' with a cherry on top, and she talks about the maraschino cherries. When I saw a cut, I was like, oh, that's cute. That must have been a cute improvised thing.' So if I'm being told that Ryan wrote that, then great. How wonderful." There were a few little flourishes that I did not write, but I assume that they had been improvised on set. But again, like I said, the moments that I felt like needed to be honored are there. So I recognize the scene and I'm proud of the scene. And if those flourishes came from Ryan, I think that's wonderful, she concluded. But someone who doesn't think it's wonderful is Justin Baldoni. A few days ago, Entertainment Tonight confirmed that he had no idea about Ryan having any part in this movie. They wrote, "E.T. can confirm that Ryan Reynolds' writing in a scene for It Ends With Us that made it into the final cut of the film did indeed come as news to Justin Baldoni, who found out only after Blake Lively revealed it in a red carpet interview." So all this time, everyone was probably thinking that Blake was just like this great actress and she was improvising and coming up with all these lines on her own based off of what felt right in that moment, when really, she was just reenacting what Ryan told her to do, and people are not happy about it. One person said, "That is nasty work. They had no respect for him. I love Blake and Ryan, but this is out of line. Stick to acting or make your own stuff. Don't use your influence to change a project you're a small part of." And not to mention, it could cause some issues with the credits in the movie. Now that Blake has admitted to Ryan writing the scene, is he going to need a screenwriter's credit? It just seems like Blake should have kept that one to herself, because now there's talks about this possibly being a guild violation that could cause a crediting issue. Variety actually reached out to the Writers Guild for comment on any possible repercussions, but so far they haven't responded. Variety wrote, "Some screenwriters have said it was odd that Lively admitted during a red carpet interview that her husband Ryan Reynolds wrote a key scene in the final cut of the film. Sources say that came as news to Baldoni, who thought the scene had been ad-libbed by Lively." The WGA did not respond to a request for comment about whether Reynolds' work is a guild violation that could spark credits issue. Though movies can have uncredited writers, rarely would the director be unaware of it. Now, as far as what's going to happen with the sequel to It Ends With Us, it's being reported that there's currently no official discussions about that being in the works. Entertainment Tonight tweeted, "ET has learned that there have been no official discussions about It Ends With Us sequel yet. Given everything surrounding the film, it's just not a bridge that's been crossed yet, but the possibility is there." And something tells me if we were to see a sequel even happen, I don't think Justin Baldoni would be buying the rights to it and going through all of this all over again. We know that he's hired a crisis PR team. It's more than obvious that there's major issues within the cast. I could see him definitely walking away and letting Blake direct it, and I'm sure that's what Colleen would want as well, seeing as how close they've become. But in other Blake Lively news, one of the big criticisms she was getting last month was her using these press events to promote her new hair care line, Blake Brown. Blake Brown launched on the same week as It Ends With Us was released. People have had some time to use her products, and so far, the reviews aren't that amazing. The first main criticism I saw, and it was the first thing I thought about when I saw the bottles of these shampoos and conditioners, was how impractical the bottle design was for the shower.
This packaging deserves jail. Like, this is the worst packaging ever for a shampoo and conditioner. Any shampoo that you have to physically remove the cap and place it somewhere, like, actually makes me want to kill someone. So bulky, and like, you cannot fit this in like normal shower shelves. Like, literally 0 out of 10 on the packaging, just from a consumer perspective.
But I do feel like if a product is really good, you can easily overlook a packaging flaw, although that doesn't seem to be the case. A lot of people are saying that the shampoo and conditioner are nothing special.
The Fundamental Nourishing shampoo is a little bit creamier than the strengthening shampoo, but it's still lightweight with great slip. I like the smell of this one a lot better, so I thought it would be my favorite of the two, but my hair actually ended up looking pretty greasy just 2 days after using it, so it just didn't work for me personally. So I think that these are good enough, but not to the point of me wanting to replace any of my favorite shampoos with them.
And a lot of reviews are saying that her products are making their hair feel dried out.
Guess what I'm returning? Every single one of Blake Brown's hair care products. I wanted to love these. I really did. I actually love the packaging. I thought it was so pretty, but the scent, so overbearing, and now I understand why people are returning the products. Mostly because my hair felt fried. I would use the nourishing and the strengthening products from her line, and my hair felt drier than the Sahara.
And you may be thinking, well, Blake is in a lot of drama right now. Maybe people are just reaching and hating on her because of how she's acting recently. But nope. Even her own fans are saying how they love Blake, but they hate her new hair care line.
I hate that I'm making this video. Blake Lively, I love you, but this hair care line just isn't it. The formula is like, okay, there's honestly nothing really that special about it, but let's talk about the packaging.
So unfortunately for Blake, it sounds like her brand launch is going just as poorly as the movie premiere. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about everything down below. Do you think Ryan writing this key scene was him overstepping and disrespectful to Justin and Christy? And do you think Justin will even want to take on this sequel, or do you think he'll be running far, far away from it? Also, let me know how you feel about Blake's hair care line. Do you think people are just being extra harsh because of all the current drama? Or do you think, like most celebrity brands, it probably sucks? Let me know, and I'll see you next time.